welcome to Lilybug's Library. My name's Linda. So, March has a couple of things. It's got St. Patrick's Day. This year it's got Easter. But you know what else it has? My birthday. So, with that in mind, March is going to be all about reading more of the series that I've started and enjoyed, but never got to another one. So, let's see what we've got. So the first one I'm going to dive into is going to be Dip Pens, Descendants, and Dirty Deals by Emily Selby. So I read it's the second in the Paper Crafts Club mysteries. The first one I read was Filigree's Fortunes and Foul Play. Say that 10 times fast. So now we're going to go into the second one. So it's about Katie, who's just returned from a weekend away, and she found a body, a dead body, under her window. And a ring that she had is missing from her drawer. So now she's trying to figure out whether the ring and the dead body are connected, or what exactly it has to do with her. And she wants to know why the victim was killed with her dip pen. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know what a dip pen is, but I'm hoping in the book it'll explain that. Maybe that's what they use for calligraphy. I don't know. Anyway, so it's she's gonna find out all those things and try to solve that mystery. So I'm looking forward to that one. And I do like I enjoy paper crafts myself, so I do like having those things be part of the mystery and part of what she does. So looking forward to that one. The second one is a romance. So it's Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. The first one was Part of Your World, and that was the one that had Alexis, who was a doctor, and Daniel, who was a carpenter, and the two of them kind of coming together. So this one is about Alexis's best friend, Brianna, and she too is a doctor. So her whole life is kind of falling apart. Her divorce is just about finalized. Her brother's running out of time to find a kidney donor, and she doesn't think she's going to get the promotion she wants because there's a new doctor who she thinks is a real pain in her butt. But she figures he's the one that's going to get the promotion. And then this new doctor, Jacob Maddox, is she starts to discover that he's not quite the pain that she thought he was, and he writes her this letter, and it's kind of touches her heart. So we'll see where they go from there. So looking forward to that one. Really enjoyed the first one, so I have high hopes for this one. The next one is the next one in the Noodle Shop mysteries. So the first one was Death by Dumpling, and that one I really enjoyed. And this one is called Dim Sum of All Fears, and I've had it for quite some time on my shelf. So looking forward to diving into that one. So in this one, Lana, who is the main character, excuse me, her parents leave for Taiwan for a visit, and she takes over the noodle shop. So that's all great, but there's a couple next door who are newlyweds, and they've opened this souvenir shop. And so all of a sudden, one of them turns up dead. So that leaves herself in the middle of another mystery, and she's going to try to find out what exactly happened to them. So looking forward to that one. The next one is, this is another one I've really been looking forward to, and kind of put it off until I got to the point where I was doing all these cozies. So this one is the next in the Chatty Corgi mystery. So the first one was called To Fetch a Felon, and this one is called Murder Always Barks Twice. Emma and her corgi Oliver open Reed's tea and classic tea and cakes, and that's in Cornwall. And so she's got that, started it with the first mystery, and now she's kind of got everything up and running well. And so she is supposed to help cater this literary festival, and the festival organizer ends up dead, and they suspect foul play. So now she's wrapped up in another mystery where she and her dog Oliver are trying to solve this mystery. And they call it the Chatty Corgi because Oliver actually talks to her. She can understand what he's saying, it's just no one else can. So he can be a big help in solving these mysteries. And, as crazy as that sounds, I really like the books. The next one is the Vampire Knitting Club. So the first one, that's the series name, but that's also what the first book was called. And the second one is called Stitches and Witches, which I think sounds cute. And so this older gentleman, his name was Colonel Montague, and he keels over at the elderflower tea shop, and it turns out he was poisoned. And so her shop, the Cardinal Wolsey yarn shop, is right next to that. And so the tea owners, they're kind of spinsters and old family friends, and so she kind of gets involved in helping to solve this mystery of what happened to this guy and how was he poisoned and how hopefully it wasn't their fault. So I think that one will be good too. Um, and the next one is the Cleopatra Fox Mysteries. So the first one was Murder at the Mayfair Hotel, and the second one is Murder at the Piccadilly Playhouse. So I just love the names, and I love the kind of the whole setting of everything that is in this. So in the first one, Cleopatra is taken in by her uncle and his family at the Mayfair Hotel because her parents have passed away, and you know, they're kind of the rich relatives, and she needs someplace to stay, and so they've agreed to take her in. So in this one, the first one, she helped solve this mystery. So she now is thinking she'd like to be a private detective, which is not really done back then, but she's going to give it a try. So one of the hotel guest mistresses is actually found dead in the stalls of the Piccadilly Playhouse. And so they say that it's suicide, but her lover is convinced that it wasn't. So he hires her, and she needs to try and find out what happened to this woman. So that should be interesting for her first case. And so the second one I'm a little confused about, I guess, because I read Almost Fangmas, which doesn't, I thought part two of it was A Fang to Remember. And they're both by L. Ren Burke. And it turns out it's not the second in the series. It's just they're both kind of standalones. So anyway, it sounds, like it's the same sort of characters and the same sort of idea. So I'm going to read that one as a continuation, I guess. So A Fang to Remember, and it says Josie and her fellow vampires live peacefully in their hidden little town. So uh, it says Josie's just an average resident running a pet boutique while managing her disability until her best friend is murdered in her friend's bakery. Or her best customer is murdered in her friend's bakery. Sorry. So now her friend is like the prime suspect. So she's going to try to clear her friend's name and figure out what happened to this person. And thankfully, none of my friends have ever been accused of murder. I don't know how that happens so often in these small towns, but the next one is The Baker Street Mystery by Valerie Burns. So the first one was wonderful. It was 2 parts sugar, 1 part murder, and it had this adorable Mastiff dog called Babe, or Babe or Baby. I think it was maybe Baby. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, Baby. So the woman who is running it, Maddie, she has taken over the bakery when her great aunt Octavia died and left her with not only the bakery, but her house and her massive dog, Baby. So now in this one, she's continuing to try to get the bakery running and to, really get in good with the townspeople. So they're having a big festival, and so she wants to win the top prize for baked goods in the festival, which will really kind of put her on the map. And so there's also another bakery opening in town, and so she's not real happy about that. And this person is very savvy, and so she's really afraid that like he's gonna sabotage things, and she's worried about all of that. And then he turns up dead with one of her knives in his back. So now she's the prime suspect in his murder, and she has to figure out what happened. So that one sounds really good as well. And I don't know how I'm going to fit all these in March, but we'll see how it goes. So it's a little bit of a long list, but you got to think big, right? So the next one is called Dastardly Deceits and the Bow Wow Bakery by Belinda Page. So it is actually the first in the series. I did read the third one in the series because it was a Christmas one. And so the one that I read was Candy Canine Christmas Caper and the Bow Wow Bakery. And it was good, but I'd like to start at the beginning and read one that's not Christmas based to see what I think of it. So it's about Sophie, who has a little sable weenie dog named Max. So she opens this Max's Bow Wow Bakery, and she has delicious treats for the dogs, and I believe she has treats for the humans as well. Not to get them mixed up, but her friend Hadley owns the needlework trading post next door, and she makes little doggy vests and sweaters. Sounds like quite a doggy kind of area. So the two team up with their booths for this festival, and they're getting ready to, hopefully do really well with this. But then Sophie discovers a dead body next door to the bakery. And it's a local CEO, and it's clear that his death wasn't an accident. So it's up to her and to her friend Hadley to try to, get this straightened out and see what happened. So the next one is the Cider Shop Mysteries by Julianne Lindsay. So I read the first one. It was Apple Cider Slaying. And again, I kind of initially started it because it felt very Christmassy. So this one is called Pulp Friction. And so they've again they're set with this apple cider orchard where there's orchard tours and things, but then they're also selling like cider and putting on events and things. And so they have a wedding there in this big barn that they've decorated, and they're giving out cider, and it's very sweet, and everything seems to be going well. And then the mother of the bride, after they've had the reception going for about an hour, she's also put out an invitation that anyone in the town that wants to join them after that hour can come, which is a little odd, but anyway, that's what you do, I guess. And so all these people from the town come, and the woman running the place is happy because she's making money off of all this. But her ex shows up, and the next thing you know, he's arguing with the groom, and she doesn't even know that they knew each other. She doesn't know what they're arguing about. She can't hear them. But the next thing you know, the groom is dead, and the ex is peeling away, so that you can't really tell, whether he did it but he looks very suspicious. So now it's up to her to try to figure out what happened, and who would want this guy dead and why. So that one also sounds really good. The next one is another one that I started with the wrong, well, not the wrong number, but with a different number than one. I started with Murders of a Feather, which was book number 3 in the Dr. Kate Vet Mysteries. And so I wanted to go back and read the first couple. So the first one is called Saddled with Murder. So this one actually takes place during the Christmas season, but I'm just gonna kind of, I'm going with it. So she's not feeling very good about things, the vet. She's overworked and she feels underappreciated, and there's a whole lot of stuff going on that make it so like she doesn't even care that it's Christmas. She's just upset about life. So then her ex-boyfriend is mugged and robbed after they have this big argument in the parking lot. And then 2 of her clients who were not very happy with her work turn up dead. And so now she's got to kind of, she thinks like a lot of these things seem to really be kind of going on top of each other, and she's starting to wonder what's going on. So she starts to kind of look into that. So I'm excited for that one too. I think it'll be really good. And the last one, assuming I get to it, is The Coffee Lover's Mystery by Tara Lush. So I read the fourth one, which was called A Bean to Die For, and it was really good. So I'm going back now to read the first one, which is called Grounds for Murder. So in this one, Lana Lewis is the one that's running. I can't remember. I think it was I'm trying to remember the name of the I don't even see it there. I was trying to remember the name of the cafe, but I don't see it. But anyway, she's running this cafe, and she's learning to do her own beans and all of these things. And this is when she first starts the cafe, and she's kind of everything's a hot mess. She has an employee that abruptly quits and goes to work for the competition, and she's concerned about everything. It's this small little town in Florida, and she's afraid that like they're all gossiping and things are just going downhill. So this guy has a kind of a slick explanation for why he jumped ship, but then he's found the next morning, and he's found dead in an alley behind her cafe, and she becomes the prime suspect. So it's and she has a really kind of quirky father. I remember him from the book that I read. He's kind of a hippie that's living in this town, and he really kind of does his own thing as well as helping out with the cafe. But he's very quirky and fun, so I'm looking forward to that one too. So a lot to read, but hopefully I'll get through a majority of them anyway. I'm excited to see where some of them go. Um, the way yeah, I'm just excited to see what happens with them. It's been a rough few months personally, so I'm kind of looking forward to settling in with some of these and kind of getting in that cozy spot that everyone wants to be in when they cuddle up with a book, and we'll see how that goes. All right, so have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.